Okay, so if everyone has signed in and gotten an agenda, we are going to get started. So welcome to the March quarterly Mentee Mentor meeting. Oh, it flipped on mine, but not on yours.
Is it frozen?
Yeah.
It's on the remote. Maybe bottom right?
Nope, no. There you go. Oh, no, hold on. Sorry. I thought it was prepared.
Well, this never happened to any of us, so.
At least 10 times a day. Now it says one pound. It's like is your hardwire under here? Maybe I should run. Sorry.
Just clicking the source.
It won't let me.
You want me to get?
Won't let me wireless
my
it.
desktop on? I left my desktop on, but you said you didn't need it, so I turned it back off. I left it on so you could log in, because I thought maybe that would be easier for you.
We'll see if reset helps. If not, we'll start. Turn that one on too, so
Yes.
we'll jump back in.
If you can log back, you can log in.
Sorry, friends.
So he's gonna go on his regular team, right?
Okay, so while we wait for that, we can honestly just get started on number one. So number one is positive share. So if any of you are comfortable, I would love for you to raise your hand and share something positive that has come from either having your mentor or the mentorship program or anything of that nature. Yes, Miss Fowler, thank you for being first.
My mentor is Sonia Garcia.
Yes.
And not only is she right next door to me, but we have the option of being able to quickly chat in between classes and discuss all different kinds of things. And she just has such a positive attitude and always welcomes me whenever I come in. So.
Awesome, that's wonderful. Look at
Very
you.
welcoming.
Wonderful. Yes, Maddie.
I enjoy that my mentor just keeps it real with me. If I ever need advice, she just lets me know without holding anything back, and I appreciate that. Ginger.
Good. Ginger's your mentor? Awesome. Love that. Anyone else? Positive? Yes.
Mine listens to me when I'm always frustrated or sick of sped stuff.
That's good though. That's
I think we both vent to each other.
Yeah, it's good to have a positive outlet.
Same for dyslexia.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hello. There's agendas up there, and if you don't mind signing in. And no pressure, but we're positively sharing as you come in, if you could think of one. Anyone else want to positively share about the mentor program or their mentor?
I know. What happened to 415?
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
We're just trying to get you out of here sooner. It's okay, but we're having technological issues, so. This one doesn't want to come on either.
Did you set the meeting for 415?
No, I think your email said 4.
It said 4.
It says 4:15 on the
Says
thing that came out from
It does?
Jennifer.
Yep.
Oh, with Jennifer?
Okay.
Oh, that was our bad. That was just a miscommunication. I'm sorry, Ms. Borland. I promise we're just positively sharing right now and trying to get technology to work.
I'm sorry. No, thank you. Thank you.
I think they pushed everything back to 4:15 to accommodate the people that are on the meeting. Okay, so we're getting that one logged in. Anyone else want to positively share about their mentor or the mentorship program? I know when I was a new teacher, I really enjoyed the mentor program because I didn't have any friends other than like the people that I went through that new teacher, but we all were kind of lost at the same time, so you're like, help me. But it was nobody knew the answer, and so just being able to go to my mentor, he doesn't work here anymore, we miss him, but I think it was a really fantastic experience. Anyone else?
Sure, I'll share.
Yes, thanks, Colleen.
Not a problem. Sarah here is my mentor, and we spend literally every second of the day together, from morning till about 7 o'clock in the afternoon. Sorry, evening.
That's wonderful.
And so, very positive experience, picking up a lot of things that I did not learn at my previous school, which is fantastic. And she's also helped me make sweepstakes.
Woohoo!
So that's great. The band did fantastic at the concert and sight reading. So yes, very positive.
It's wonderful. It's almost like you got a built-in best friend.
I do.
You're like, almost like Fowler too, because Sonia's right next to you. It's like a
literally
built-in.
BFFs.
It's like siblings. Love that.
Let's calm down now.
She was like, let's take it back a second.
Sorry, Ginger. I apologize.
It's okay, I won't bring desserts and you have for
Oh, those are fighting words. You're not supposed to ruin it for all of us. Okay, I don't think my cute little PowerPoint's gonna work because now this computer wants to update, so we're just gonna roll with it. I can share it with you if you are super passionate about it and really want to see all of it. But here we go. So we had some positive sharing. Would anyone like to share a challenge that you've experienced or overcome that your mentor kind of guided you through, or just made it a little bit easier as you were navigating a new school or new career path? I mean, if you're ready to go first again, I'm ready for it. Yes, Miss Fowler.
This literally just happened last week.
Okay.
I got called dramatic by a student for giving them a planner signature when asking them why they didn't get their planner signed for the other two that they received. And anyway, due to that situation, I walked in off the vice principal and I came and talked about it during my comments right after the first period. And I was trying to figure out what to do because it's been a while since I wrote a referral. I haven't written one this year. And it was suggested to me that, you know what, I might be referral worthy at this point for being very disrespectful and rude. Just, I have to vent a little bit too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's good to get that
So
off
I
your
did that
chest.
challenge and then I'll talk to the parent today and very supportive.
Good.
It was-
Love supportive parent.
Turned good, so.
That's awesome. Thank y'all, sixth grade team, for being there for her to vent to and kind of guide through. Sonia. I know writing referrals is something that could be different from school to school. Did anyone else have issues writing referrals, like your first time kind of navigating that process, or was it pretty straightforward and clear? Okay. Anyone else want to share a challenge that you experienced, overcame, or guided through?
Well, can I share something?
Yeah.
I mean, the people that often help me
Mm-hmm.
because of sheer proximity
Yes.
are also first year on this campus, but I guess because their mentors are so amazing, they can always answer my questions when I need something answered at the last minute, because my mentor isn't quite as geographically convenient
Yes.
as theirs are to them in the sixth grade hall, because, you know, she's over in
That's
the
what's a
entire-
challenge for us too. We're not close by each
the
other.
other side
Yeah.
of the building.
And then if you don't have a common planning period
Yes,
too,
they're
it's
all very
very hard to like find each other.
Yes, because we don't get a planning period.
Okay, well,
so.
shout out again to sixth grade for
So,
helping.
yeah, so that has been fantastic, is that when I needed something quick answered, they're always available.
Good, awesome. Colleen, did you want to share a challenge?
Sure.
Let's hear it.
I think every day is a challenge. We deal with 60 children.
At a time.
Yes, at a time, every day. So every day is a challenge and every day we lose our minds. But it's very nice to have that person to vent to
Yeah.
after all of these 60 children leave the room.
Well, and I think too, like just as a teacher, having someone that can like understand what you're experiencing, especially as a first year, because they can kind of empathize with not only what you're going through, but like how you're feeling, and they can kind of validate those feelings. I know like sometimes when you share with a spouse, they don't quite grasp what you're trying to get at. They think you're just complaining. And so having the opportunity to vent to someone who can really understand and empathize and give you that guidance is really helpful. So awesome. Thank you, Ms. Yarnell, for continuing to guide. All right, anyone else want to share a challenge? I think that's awesome. I think our mentors are doing great things. Thank you, mentors. Mentees, y'all are also doing awesome things. All right, let's hit the next one. Number 3 is going to be STAR procedures. We're going to cover real quick. So the first thing you're going to see when it comes STAR time is going to be a very long, very important email from Ms. Garcia. You've seen it already before for shutdowns, but when it comes to STAR, the stakes are a little bit higher. So I just want to review a couple of those things. So when those emails come in, it's super important that you not only check the rosters so you know what kids you have, what testing accommodations you might have, because if you're like an electives teacher or a special education teacher, you're going to have like a random assortment of children. So it's important that you understand who you have, where you're going to be testing, because I know I've never tested in the same classroom twice. So that's going to happen. So you need to make sure you're looking for that. And then also, if you are a core content teacher, you need to make sure that like your small group kids, your online kids are where they're supposed to be to ensure that they're getting those proper accommodations. So reading that email is key to success. Also making sure that you understand those procedures and how test day is going to run. Because especially, I know when I was a new teacher, test day was incredibly intimidating, especially my first time. And so having that step-by-step that you can follow and you can kind of check off as you go through makes it a lot easier to kind of calm your nerves. So just to reiterate for the millionth time, read the email. There are also, all those procedures that Ms. Garcia sends out will also be in your testing box, so you can always refer back to that. Don't feel like you have to print your own copy. The next one is starting on time. We feed breakfast before testing, so just make sure you're not lollygagging during breakfast for too long. Make sure the kids are getting fed, but you're also on them to get with it. And you're taking care of other business while you're working through that to make sure that testing is happening on time. Because we have to give the kids their allotted amount of time, so we have to make sure we all test almost at the same time. Okay? And then don't forget to document that time, put it on your sticky note outside your door, so the administrators, as they're coming around, have an idea. The next one is instructions. Super important to follow all instructions exactly as they are written. You should have gotten your STAR testing manual. Have y'all gotten that?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
We can have our training.
You haven't? Okay. So, in that STAR testing manual, will tell you word for word everything you can and cannot say. It'll tell you if the kids ask a question, what you can tell them. It'll tell you what to do if such and such happens. It'll tell you what you need to do if a kid needs to go to the nurse. So it'll break all of that down for you. So just make sure you read all of those instructions and you follow them to a T, because that is super important to ensuring that the test is proper. You're good. I think we might get this PowerPoint up. I hope y'all appreciate how adorable this is. I got a hardwire. Is it HDMI? No, okay, we're clicking. Okay, here we go. Positive sharing. Got through that. STAR. Okay, last one. Monitor. That is the day that you are going to get all of your steps. So get your steps. Wear your trackers, hit your 10,000. That can be your gym for the day. Just get it done. Make sure you're watching those kids. Make sure you're monitoring. Just make sure you're getting it all done. Plain and simple. Make sure I click on the right one. Then I want to cover some upcoming important dates. These were shared in the weekly message, but just so you can write it in your planner if you want to note it down here. On March 30th and 31st, there's going to be an 8th grade science shutdown on the 30th, social studies shutdown on the 31st. I know that some of you do not service 8th grade kids, but if you service a random assortment of children, so like you 6th grade, some 7th grade, some 8th grade, if you have an all 8th grade class, it's important that you're reading through those shutdown procedures to ensure that there's not a specific time that they're trying to fool you when they know you don't have a class to use you for a specific purpose. So they might be relieving you for one of the TAs that's assigned to the hallway, so that way they can go do their cafeteria duties or any of those things. So even if the shutdown you think doesn't affect you, it's still important just to read through that just to make sure. So March 30th and 31st, that's coming up really quick. Are y'all ready?
Sure.
Good. And then April 5th is going to be an all-grade math shutdown. So it's just going to be like the iReady shutdowns we've had. Just the stakes are going to be a little bit higher. April 6th is going to be the reading shutdown for all grade levels. May 3rd is going to be the 8th grade algebra end of course. That's going to affect a really small population of students. I think there's only like 30 of them. And so they're going to pull those kids into the multi-purpose room. So they just will be checked out for that window, and then they'll come to you in the afternoons once they complete that test. May 5th is going to be the 8th grade science star. So same thing with the shutdown, just make sure you're reading those procedures, making sure that they don't need you somewhere else.
Allison,
Yes, ma'am.
since that's not in our building,
Yes.
do we still, like, will we be under like quiet and lockdown, or will we rotate classes?
That's a great
Like-
question. There will be no bells, but you will rotate classes as normal.
Okay.
They'll
Okay.
isolate the 8th grade building so that any class that's traditionally held in that building, those will all be shut down. If there's a teacher that's displaced, they'll hold them in this building, but you'll run as usual. Thank you for asking that. That was on my list of things to talk about. And then May 6th is social studies star. May 10th is all grade math. May 11th is all grade reading. Questions about star dates or shutdowns?
When they do makeups, do they pull them and is the campus quiet on the makeup days
I'll get an
also?
email with a list of the names of those that have to make it up, and then
Okay.
they'll determine where they're gonna be testing at.
Okay,
But then they may send an email about who may help out with the testing too. So, I mean, if you don't have core classes, just FYI, you may be called.
will we rotate that day?
Yes.
As normal?
Yes.
But
Okay.
like art, if they pull Mr. Lee out, if they pull somebody,
It
you
could
may
be
not have
weird.
those electives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So depending upon the size of students, they'll either house them typically in the multi-purpose room. Sometimes they'll shut down. Well, last year when I was back there, they shut down our building and had it back there. So they try to keep them away so everyone else can
Can just
function as normal.
continue to be normal.
But
Okay.
it's all just going to depend on the amount of kids that still have to be serviced. So if you need those dates, those are up there. And then the last thing that I want to touch on is test security. So if for some reason on one of these dates you are administering a test and you have checked out your materials, it is your responsibility to ensure that that test is secure. So it either needs to stay with you at all times or it needs to be double locked. Okay? So you'll see on star days there will be teachers outside holding their bucket while they're at duty. It's one of those things, it is what it is. You are welcome to go out to duty, then come in when the kids do and check out then. But just know the line's going to be a little bit longer just from other staff members running late. Any questions about STAR? Awesome. Y'all are too easy. Okay, parent contact. So there is, when Ms. Garcia first sent her initial links at the beginning of the year, it's where the misconduct ticket link is, and there was another link on there.
Custodian.
Thank you, custodial supply link. There is the parent contact link. It is super, super important. They are not only documenting your parent contacts, but you're also putting it into that Google form. We have to use those logs and those contacts for our Title I stuff. So it's important that you make sure you're filling those out every 6 weeks. So it's easier if you just stay on top of it instead of like saving them for the masses at the end. So just make sure you are taking care of that. And parent contacts can be anything. If you call, if you email, even talk to you at a sports game. If you still want to document that, you can do that. Then on leadership, it is always in your best interest to read the minutes. I know some weeks they're super long. I know a lot of the time your mentor will inform you of like the super important things, but it's always good to stay on top of what's going on campus. That way you're aware. And then there's an open seat on leadership every week if you want to just kind of see what it looks like, how it's run, or if you just want your voice to be heard, or if you just want to see a different perspective of the campus, that's a good way to do it. So anyone is invited. You just have to let Ms. Garcia know when she sends the leadership minutes out, just respond and say, hey, I'd really like to come. And usually she's very, very accommodating. And then the last one is duty. Plain and simple, just make sure you're going and you're on time. If you know that you're going to be out, like you're planning to be out, and you could switch a day with another team member, that always helps to make sure that there's not like 4 people missing outside under the big tree in the mornings. So if you can make a conscious effort to do that, and to just be on time. Sending students to the office, make sure. Yeah. Sending students to the office, if when you do this, if you could send them just with something to do, if they're not like running out, like forget you, I'm gone. That's a different situation, totally understand. If you're like, dude, I need you to get out, send them with something to do. That way they're not twiddling their thumbs or destroying something in the office or causing a ruckus while other people are doing their job. Just kind of give them something to do. Also, if you could send them, if it's possible to send them with some type of documentation, even if it's just a sticky note like we both needed a break from each other, or he was being incredibly disruptive and I need him to see Slatin, whatever the case may be, you can send him with a sticky note. I say him, it definitely could be her. You can send them with a sticky note. You can send an email to Lisa or Angie just so they are on the lookout. It also helps to ensure that there's not kids wandering the hallways. And make sure you tell them explicitly what office to go to. I know like 8th grade sends theirs to the 8th grade office and then Mr. Slatin will come get them if that's a situation. But just make sure you're giving those people a heads up. And then if you're giving them to Slatin, if you're sending them to Mr. Slatin, you can always CC him on that email just so he knows if he's on the 8th grade side, he can come down, or if he's dealing with another situation, he can come over and take care of that. Questions about sending kids to the office? All right. Okay. So this one's gonna ruffle some feathers. Are you ready? All right. So, are you ready?
Are you looking at me?
Yeah.
Do I need to walk out of the room, ruffle my feathers? or-
Probably.
Okay, go.
Because we had to take the bad weather day on February 4th. Oh, okay.
I already know that.
Okay,
That's
good.
so weird.
I was sweating for that one, I was a little nervous. Okay, so because we had the bad weather day, we do have to make that day up. And the reason we have to make that day up is because we get federal funding for summer school. And that federal funding is, number one, a whole heck of a lot of money. So it's very important to the district because that's how we fund our summer school. And the second reason is because, I lost my train of thought. Derailed.
Yes,
Because
it's important.
because I was nervous.
You have to have 100
Yes, because we have to have 180 student days. So what that means is your last day of work will now be May the 27th. The student's last day at school will be May the 26th. So we're just pushing everything back one more day. We're not eating the Easter Monday. We're going to eat that last Friday.
They're not moving graduation, are they?
No, graduation's going to stay the same.
It'll
But
be
all
half-
kids are going to have to still be here on that Thursday.
But the work day for us is a half day, correct, on the 27th, or would it be a full day?
No, I think the
Yeah.
actual day, the extra day the kids have to be here is
It's
a
a half day, because it
Yes.
counts as a whole.
Correct. Yes,
The 26th is a half day,
it should be, yes.
and the 27th, we're here all day for teacher.
Yes, it's still tentative at this moment. It'll go before the board tomorrow, and then the school district's gonna recommend to the board that it be approved, so we're just telling you so that way you can make plans earlier, so just so that way you're aware. And then your start of work, in 2023 is going to be, August the 2nd, so that is when teacher in-service starts. New teacher will be that last week of July, and then in-service days are going to start August the 2nd. Students are going to come back to school August the 9th, so we'll all have that Monday the 8th off, and then we'll come back on August the 9th. Just so you're aware, if you don't know, your contract length is 187 days, so that's why we work those extra in-service days. We work so many more days than the kids come to school, just so if you're not aware.
When did you say the kids start? Sorry.
August the 9th. Yeah,
We're
we're,
all off on Monday?
we're all off that Monday, August the 8th. I think it's just to give everyone, because that's the longest, shortest week of the school year. And then the last thing is, oh no, there's two more things, sorry. Your contracts, when the board renews your contract as a teacher, those will come to you via an online platform. So the HR secretary will send you an email saying, hey, you have documents that need to be signed. That contract will get pushed to you. You'll have to log in. It should be your same Ascender login, and then you can just go in and digitally sign that. I have never been able to sign my contract because I can never get in, so I might not be the person to help you. I always just respond and say, can you sign my name? So you might want to ask your mentors because I can't figure it out either. But you just know that you're not going to get a paper copy. Like, nobody's going to come to you and say, hi, we want you to come back next year. That's not how it's going to work. You're going to get a really informal email, and it's just going to be what it is. If you are a new teacher and new to the district, you are required to be on a 3-year probationary contract. So don't freak out if you see that your contract says probationary. It's standard rule of thumb. If you're just new to the district, but you have prior teaching experience, you only have a 1-year probationary contract. So don't freak out about those rules. And then the last thing is contractual obligations. There's some of you, make sure you pay attention to the fine print of your contracts, because some of you have special things that have to be in there. Like, I know mine says I have to work like an excessive amount of days. It says I have to have a CDL. It says I have to maintain my CDL, like all of those things. So just make sure that you have none of those special obligations in your contract. Or when you get your new one, make sure that there's nothing new added in there, because that's something that they're going to hold you accountable for. And I don't want that to sneak up on you when it gets later into the year. Questions about that? That's all I got for contracts. I keep wanting to click this one. Okay, dress code. We need to make sure that when we are, I know it was today too. We need to make sure that we're still checking student dress codes. There's a lot of time at lunch that kids are getting caught, or in enrichment classes that they're getting caught for being out of dress code compliance. So we need to make sure that we are looking at our first period kids, making sure that the verbiage on their shirts are appropriate, making sure they have no exposed holes in their jeans, making sure that our boys are groomed properly. We just need to be on the lookout for all of that. It's especially important in second period. When you check for your kids' IDs, just have them stand and make sure that what they're wearing is within student dress code.
If the holes are below the knee, they don't have to be covered?
No, they have to be covered. Yeah.
Even if it's just a nude color tight underneath?
Yeah.
Yes, they're allowed to, as long as they can show you that it's a tighten of their skin. That was, yeah, they found a loophole.
Of course it is.
They always do.
So the tights, like nylons, are okay?
No, there was a flesh color tight that they were
But it's
wearing.
a tight,
It was
not
a
like
thicker-
not like the
No, not-
fishnets that the
No.
one was wearing, like those
No.
don't count. Okay.
It's like the dance
Yeah,
legging.
yeah,
I don't know what they're called.
They still look skin color, but
And then, so if you catch a student that's out of dress code compliance, just send them to the office. Whenever you do catch them, typically Lisa intercepts them, has them call home, and she deals with that situation internally. And then teacher dress code. Not as exciting as it would be unless you really like to wear jeans. So let's talk about when we can and cannot wear jeans. On star days, you can wear jeans as long as you are wearing the current star shirt. You have to wear the current star shirt. So if we have a star test, we have a star test on the 9th, we have a star test on the 10th. Either wash your shirt or buy 2. They're only $10, whatever suits your fancy. I'm not going to do laundry, so I'm going to buy 2 because that's just me. But as long as you're wearing the current star shirt, you're allowed to wear jeans. You also are allowed to wear jeans on dress-up days. So if Miss Garcia puts in the leadership notes that we are having a dress-up day for whatever, like the last one was 222 day, you are allowed to wear jeans as long as you are participating in the dress-up day. Questions about that?
That's any day stars being administered
Yes.
at any grade?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, just,
Well, and also on Fridays, the only time
yes.
you're supposed to wear jeans is when you have a Pleasanton ISD shirt.
Sure.
Yes,
Just
which
a
has to be
regular-
either green or white. Thank you for bringing that up.
Not black.
Yes, not black. It has to be green or white. That's not an admin decision. That's above them. So, just so you're aware. Any questions about that? We're getting our steps on star days, so we're gonna reward you with jeans. I feel like we should have a step like a star step
Challenge.
challenge. Thank you, that was the word.
Long time
I'm
ago.
gonna win
That
that.
would be fun.
Let's do, okay, it's gonna happen.
Let's do it.
I'll suggest it in leadership tomorrow. All right, the next one is sped accommodations. So there's been I don't know if it was a miscommunication or if accommodations are getting kind of lost in translation or if they're coming as the masses. I'm not sure what the situation was, but your accommodations are gonna typically come from Hannah Graham, who is the SPED secretary, and she just inputs all of the accommodations into the portal and then kicks it to you as that student's teacher of record, so that way you can commit to those accommodations. When it comes to accommodations, make sure you are reading them. As a teacher, you are responsible for ensuring that you are giving your students their proper accommodations at all times. So you can be held liable for that. Also make sure that you are logging into eSped. I wouldn't say regularly, but kind of make a conscious effort because you're not always going to get that randomly generated email because they do need you to commit to those accommodations, especially if they're trying to get a kid, if they're trying to make an amendment to their ARD or something like that, they need you to commit to it so that way they have documentation that you're aware that that accommodation has changed. So that's super important. So just make sure you're logging into eSped and you're watching for those different things and you are working with that. Any questions about SPED accommodations? Ms. Sutton, do you want to talk anything about oh, there was one more thing I needed to say, but was there anything you wanted to say about accommodations?
No, just double check on them. If you feel like they're I know that we've updated them, so if you feel like they're hard to read or there's a lot on there that doesn't make any sense or they're redundant, let me know because I can do a quick amendment and clean them up.
What's the difference when you open them? Some of them say just review and some of them say sign.
Because they forgot to click the button and have them sign.
But you have
So
to
that's
sign
why
all
you'll
of
end
that.
up having this like look
It's
at
like
all
when
the-
I
Open the
sign
review one, it doesn't allow me to sign because I
Right.
didn't
They
open
didn't-
that option.
They didn't click that.
Right, okay.
We've only reviewed them, we haven't had the mandated to sign them.
We,
Just
some of us got an
Just
email last
review.
week because they went back in, I guess,
Oh.
and fixed it. And
Yeah.
then we got
I
an
got a
email.
couple like that.
Yeah, you might just want to log in and just make sure. It's that commit button is what
It'll say right
Is you
next to
It'll
their
just
name.
say commit, but we do prefer that you sign it because then we get an email that
You're fine. Just
All
duck.
your hand
You're good.
trainings.
Oh my God.
Just walk.
Just go. You're fine. No big deal. You're good. I know. We gotta make sure they don't kill each other.
Your heads. I go the wrong way, so don't move.
I was just waiting for Miles to just come barreling down the hallway. SPED accommodations. The last one about SPED accommodations is it is very, very, very hard to fail a special education student. So if you are going to fail a special education student, please make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row. Because you have to ensure that you were there every day. You have to ensure that you were on your best game, the student was on their best game, you are applying every accommodation that they deserve at every point. So just be very mindful when it comes to inputting grades for those students. And a lot of their accommodations ask for grading on ability. So just make sure you're familiar with who your special education students are, and you're making sure they're getting everything that they need. And their case managers also are more than happy to work with you about it, especially if you have a concern or you just need some help with them or you're not sure how to work through that with them. They can definitely point you in the right direction and give you some strategies and some pointers on how to work with that student. Any questions about accommodation? Okay. We're almost done. We're on the home stretch, I promise. So just some other important dates. The 8th grade career fair is coming up. I put these in here because there's staff that's going to be affected by these things. So when it comes to planning, I just want you to be aware so that way you can plan for having a majority of your kids gone. I know Ms. Garcia sent out an email today that they were pulling track a little earlier than they thought they were going to. So that's going to drastically affect, if you have 7th and 8th grade, it's going to drastically affect your 7th and 8th periods. So just plan for that. 7th grade soccer is leaving after 7th period, so that, and 8th grade girls soccer is at home, track's away. So that track and 7th grade girls soccer are going to leave at the same time. So that's going to be a good chunk of your kids. So just be mindful of that, and make sure you're getting them their work. Spring break, woohoo, March 14th through the 18th. Please get some much needed rest and relaxation. Enjoy your time, but make sure you're ready to come back on the 19th, or I guess it's the 21st, because we'll miss you if not. On March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, there will be TELPAS training in the multi-purpose room. So your TELPAS kids, you should already know who they are. They've already been identified. So just be aware they're not going to be with you. March 25th, track is away. Tennis is at home after school. Tennis is at home today too if you need something, if you want to go see the kids play. April 21st is instructional rounds. Gilda's going to push that calendar out to you. When it comes to instructional rounds, the whole purpose is that it's a learning experience. You're supposed to get something out of it, not just write down that I really like their bulletin board border that they have around their whiteboard. That's not the purpose of instructional rounds. It's supposed to be a growing opportunity for you to see how other classrooms function and see what's working for another teacher. Even if it's just a strategy with a specific student, if it's a whole class strategy, or even if it's just the way that they, like Melissa brought up today, the way that my kids turn in assignments. So just be looking for things like that. So make sure you're treating that as an opportunity to grow and an opportunity to grow with your colleagues. Book Fair Literacy Night is going to be April 25th through the 28th. That's also going to be when STAR Theme Week begins. If you're not in communication with your hallway grade level mates, you might want to talk with them because they have some really fantastic things going on and I don't want you to miss out. So make sure you're chatting with them about what is going on. Teacher Appreciation Week is May 2nd through the 6th. I thought we came up with some pretty good ideas for that, I'm just saying. But if you have some other great ideas that you want to share, let me know, or let another administrator know, or even Angie, and we'll see about incorporating that. May 11th is athletic physicals at 4 if you have a student athlete, just so you can mark your calendars for that. May 16th, this is going to affect a whole lot of people at a whole lot of time. May 16th is going to be 5th grade tours. So the counselors at the junior high, at the elementary school are going to bring down classes of 5th graders to tour our campus. So they're going to be guided by a counselor and then some of our student ambassadors. They're going to walk them and tour them around the campus so they can kind of get a lay of the land and see kind of where things are, how they work, that type of thing. And then on that same day, 8th grade is going to be on their field trip. So excited for that. They're going to be so pumped when they find out. But 8th grade is going to do some nice, cool things. So when you're planning, if you service 8th grade students, just plan accordingly that you're going to be missing a good chunk of your kiddos. May 20th is going to be the good behavior movies. So those are going to work like the ones that came in the fall. Mr. Leanhart's going to send out a list of eligible students. You'll check the list of the students you have. Release as usual. They'll walk them over to the PAC, watch their movie, send them back. Business as usual. May 21st is the 8th grade gala. Mr. Lowry, here in the next couple weeks, will send out a Google, I think last year was a Google Doc, asking for teachers to volunteer to do various tasks within the 8th grade gala. So if you do service 8th grade students, that's an awesome opportunity to kind of see your kids in a different environment and connect with them in a social aspect. Or even if you really enjoy this 8th grade class and you kind of want to send them off at the gala, that's an awesome way to do it. And they look so cute. They like got their little ties on and their little, they're adorable. And then May 23rd, this is a super important day. Make sure it's on your calendar. This is going to be the junior high awards night. So you and your team members will be selecting students to receive team awards. And it's at 6:30 at the PAC, and it is mandatory for all certified staff. So you will have a say in what students receive, which awards for your team. Electives will have an opportunity to select kids, so it is required for all staff to attend. Questions about important dates? All right, do we have any questions about
No.
anything? I can see you like Nancy. Are we good?
Thank you.
All right, thank y'all for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.